Frank admits UFC doesn't want the fighters to be the superstars. This is really interesting, right? Because who should be the superstar, the platform or the boxer? Here's a good point. If the platform is the superstar and you fall out with the platform, what happens to you? Now let's put this in the Conor Benn analogy. Conor Benn is a boxing star. At the moment, he's the guy that everyone hates, but they will pay to see him lose. Maybe that's a little bit unfair. I would say that you can divide Conor's fan base into a few sections. There's the people that love him, maybe because of his father was a legend. Then there's people that just love him independently. And then there's people that don't like him, but they'll pay because they want to see him lose. So he'll have a variety of different people that will pay money to see him, whether that's pay-per-view or go to the events, etc. The point is this: Conor Benn is a celebrity. He is the A-side. But if Zuffa boxing becomes the A-side and it becomes about the platform, as Zuffa boxing evolves and gets more boxing real estate, how does that affect the relationship with Conor Benn? Does Conor Benn then become the B-side? And how does that affect his pockets? And that's a really interesting question. And does it really matter? Because Conor Benn knows that his financial window is short. So he's maximizing on his financial capacity. That's the right thing to do. So my criticism of Conor Benn isn't the decision to take the money. It's the process. It's the process of how he allegedly handled the Eddie Hearn situation. So going for the bigger bag isn't the problem. In capitalism, it's understandable to go for the bigger bag. Of course, the caveat is that not all money is good money. But how you handle relationships with people that treat you well, I think that's important, and that's a testament of your character. And maybe Conor Benn will be able to mend that relationship. Who knows? But what will be interesting is, will the Zuffa platform start to become bigger than the stars? Now, for Conor Benn, because the boxing window of opportunity is so small, it may not affect him, but it can affect boxers down the line. And the eighth and final idea is that Dana White reportedly fixates on attacking Eddie Hearn specifically. Is Zuffa's obsession with Hearn actually about poaching fighters closer to him, like Benn? Now, Dana White is making chess moves. He's trying to build Zuffa, the platform. And the beef with Eddie Hearn is free promotion. I've said this time and time again. And if a promoter steals your fighter, in a sense, that gives you a good insight into that fighter. It doesn't mean that that fighter is a bad person, but it may reflect the relationship you have with that fighter. And it can give you some details and info. So it's not a bad thing necessarily. Of course, Conor Benn is worth millions. Dana White taking Conor Benn is a chess move. It's a Machiavellian move. It's a strategic move. It's a leverage move. But Eddie Hearn can then assess the Conor Benn relationship in a more appropriate way. And maybe this is a personal thing, but for me, and this is my personal perspective, I like to know who my enemies are, who my friends are, and who my acquaintances are. And I don't think, when you use the term enemy, what is an enemy? That's a good question, because I'm not sure if Conor Benn is his enemy. He might be an enemy in terms of when Matchroom are performing as trying to gain boxing real estate, then yeah, Conor Benn's an enemy because he's on the enemy stable. But I don't know if he's literally an enemy. I don't know if there's real hostility, but I'm not sure if there's a friendship either. Is he now an acquaintance? Probably not. But I think it's important to be able to properly label your relationships, because then you can act appropriately.